Finals Thursday night at the Garden, and huge get by Wiggy this morning. Celtics super fan.
Yep.
Donnie Wahlberg joins us right now. Good morning, Donnie.
What is up? Good morning.
Well, your bandmate, Danny Wood, everyday regular listener of this program, so he's probably listening right now while working out.
I believe it. He's up a little early, though.
Donnie, you've been following this team forever like I have. What's the difference like this year with this team? I mean, you pretty much at every game, every playoff game. What's the difference that you noticed this year versus what you've seen in the past?
It's hard to say what's different. I mean, a lot of the players are different this year. I think Coach Mazzulla is on his second go-around, so he's, I think much more steady at the helm this time around. But I think there's just a calm about them that I really like. But for me, I've always thought, like, at least, since the team has had Jason and Jalen, that they're a pretty calm couple of guys. They're really cool under pressure. I've never understood this reputation that's really sort of come up this year, that they don't win the big game, or they haven't won a championship. That's fine. But, they've won so many huge road games. Tatum's had huge game 7 against Philly and a huge game 6 against the Bucks. I mean, they've done some pretty incredible things in their young careers. I just think they're at a point where they just look ready. They have a steady group around them. And, I think, maybe Drew has brought in some maturity and confident and calming presence in the backcourt, that just blends perfectly with this team. But I just think experience. I think there's been a lot of, I don't want to say unrealistic expectations. I think this team has been right on the cusp of winning a championship for a few years now. But I think they were ahead of schedule in many ways. A lot of people were like, whoa, when I think about it, we had Kyrie and Gordon Hayward on this team with a bunch of the guys we have now, and probably a deeper team actually back then, and we didn't win. But nobody ever blamed Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown for that. Kyrie left, Gordon got hurt. The first year they were both hurt, and when those guys left, this team could have fallen apart. Instead, they stayed right there on the cusp of winning a championship. And you could tell they were always just a piece away or a couple of key players away. And they've put, I think, the right group together. I think Brad Stevens did a phenomenal job, and Austin Ames and these guys, they've done an incredible job, put a great group together that's really cohesive. And, I think they've just matured as they've gone along, and they seem to be ready. I mean, they look ready, and this looks like the team to beat for sure in this finals.
In general, who gets better seats, you or McLovin?
Who?
I'm trying to think of others.
I don't know McLovin's name.
He's just McLovin.
He's just McLovin.
Yeah.
I mean, he goes to every game.
Yes. I think Donnie gets the best seats around.
Dana White, too. He gets
no.
pretty good ones.
Yeah. I don't know if I've even seen McLovin at a game. I know he's been to games. I think I've seen it on social media, but I don't think I've bumped into him at a game. But honestly, guys, we grew up with 9 kids in my family. We couldn't get into any sporting events. Like, I remember my brother Paul, the chef from Wahlburgers, took me to a Patriots game in the old stadium, and we sat on like metal benches. And that was the only like sporting event other than one Red Sox game I'd ever been to. And this was like 86 or 7. And it was like surreal to me. So the fact that I can go to games now is just beyond anything I could have ever dreamed. And I don't take it for granted. I'm not there like to just be at the game and have people notice me. I'm there to support the team. I'm like die hard, bleed green forever. And it means so much to me that I can even go to a game. Never mind sit in the front row. I will say, once you sit in the front row, it's hard to go back to another seat. So I am a little spoiled, but I'm there because I really, really love the team.
Yeah, I mean, you probably at that age didn't think you were going to marry Jenny McCarthy either.
You know, a boy could dream. A boy could dream. You know, I had dreams. It worked out.
Donnie, if they get this done in the finals, what's going to be the biggest key in your mind? The addition of getting Kristaps Porzingis back, the Jays figuring it out, or you look at Drew Holiday and Derek White, guys like that having big games?
I think you said all of it. Honestly, I think me personally, if my breakdown of the series, of course, I think if we get Kristaps back, we probably win in 5. And that's if he's back, you know, full. Like, you know, if he's back in regular season mode and the team gels quickly with him back in the mix. One of the great things about this 10 days off is he's been practicing. So everybody's going to be rusty after 10 days. And the Mavs will be a little rusty too. So sometimes when you get a superstar player back, I've always had this theory, and I think it's right, is when you miss a key player in your rotation, especially in the NBA, and they come back, that team usually loses that first game because it's like they've got used to playing without them. They've got used to moving the ball a certain way. You know, it's one of the reasons I wasn't surprised, like the Pacers, the Cavs, and the Heat all gave the Celtics a hard time with their stars out because the ball actually moves sometimes better when a certain player's out. I'm not saying that's the case with the Celtics. I'm saying it just you get used to playing a certain way without a player, and then they come back and it kind of throws things off. So if he's back and he's fully healthy, I think we win in 5. I don't think this team matches up well with us at all. I think we're a great matchup for them, or they're a great matchup against us on our side of it. I think the other reason is what you said. I think Drew and D. White, you know, Kyrie and Luka, you know, they haven't seen guys that defend this well in the playoffs, and their strength is their backcourt, and one of our strengths is our backcourt defense. And if for whatever reason, you know, Luka is a little tall or whatever for our guys, then Jalen or Jason can get on him, and it's going to be a problem. You know, Tatum, you know, he wasn't the MVP in the Eastern Conference Finals, but he does everything out there, and Jalen does too. But I mean, Tatum's like running the point sometimes, grabbing rebounds, running the offense through him. He's defending, you know, 7-footers at times. I mean, he could do it all out there, and I think we win in 7, maybe even 6 if Kristaps doesn't come back, and I think we win in 5 if he plays.
See, and I agree with you. The thing that's different about this team here, Donnie, is they got 4 guys that they could throw at Kyrie and Luka, where when you look at Dallas is going to struggle to cover Tatum and Brown. And I'm with you. My expectations, they win the championship. But we haven't had it. I've been a Celtics fan for a long time, since the 80s. And when you look at this team, they have the making of, and I know I'm getting ahead of myself, but they have a making of being a team that it could be a dynasty team similar to what we saw Golden State, similar to what we saw. And that's just my opinion based on the 2 superstars. I expect multiple championships with Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum for them to be so young. I don't know where you fall on that.
I like the way you think. I just, you know what? I guess I'm still more of a Belichick disciple than you, because I'm not thinking past game 1. Like, I think we're the better team. I think we should win. I think, yes, this team is built to, you know, compete for a long time, which, you know, should give anyone hope. If you're afraid that, you know, a lot of people think Dallas is going to win the series. I don't personally think they're going to win the series. I don't think they should win it. Anything can happen. And I didn't expect to see Dallas in the finals. So, you know, they're obviously hitting their stride, and they put some good pieces together at the trade deadline, and it's working now. So I just, you know, I think we got to get through this year. We got to get through this season. We're hoping Kristaps is back. You know, I think we can win even if he's not, but that doesn't mean I'm right about any of this. I do think we're the best team. I think we got home court advantage. Everything is lined up for us to win this game, and I don't want to get ahead of myself. I think it's fair for you to think that, and I hope everyone in Boston feels that inside, that, we have a very special team here. I think we've all been kind of living with this anxiety about they're supposed to win. They're supposed to win. And that sometimes takes the fun away when we put that pressure on ourselves. Like, when you're like supposed to win from training camp till, it's over. I'm sure a lot of the Patriots teams experience this. It's a lot of pressure. It doesn't become as fun. It's like, in many ways, New York this year was like when the Celtics had Isaiah Thomas and were surprising everyone, or the year Jalen and Jason went to the Eastern Conference Finals without Kyrie and Hayward. Nobody expected that. And that's always fun when your team is a surprise. And for us, it's been really high expectations. And, we fall behind by 4 points and the whole building is like having a heart attack. It's like, calm down, everyone. These guys are good. They're good players. They come from behind. They're undefeated on the road. I'd rather hear you say they could be a dynasty than say, this team is underachieving. This team isn't, that whole narrative is false to me. They're undefeated on the road in the playoffs. Yeah, they've had injuries in front of them, but so have we. If anyone thinks Kristaps being out isn't a huge thing, they're crazy. And we're still 12-2 in the playoffs. So I think, yes, this team has the potential to be incredible. They have to win this year first, or none of it really matters.
Well, it almost sounds like you feel like this team has the right stuff.
I would say they've been hanging tough. You already know I'll be loving them forever.
Right.
I don't know. I don't even know. I'm running out of New Kid songs.
I would say, Jason, please don't go.
Speaking of other things, is this gonna be? I saw an interview with Tom Selleck where he didn't want Blue Bloods to end. Is it ending, or is there still some question about maybe coming back?
Nobody, I think, wants it to end. Certainly not the cast and the crew and the diehard fans. As of now, the plan is, I think we have 2 episodes left to film. There'll be 8 episodes coming back on in the fall, and that may be it. So I don't know what's going to happen beyond that, but right now the plan is that it's over. It's sad. We all love the show. We have a great time making it. It's been an incredible run for 14 years. On a show that, some people thought wouldn't last 14 days. So it's been incredible. And my approach is to just enjoy my last few weeks filming the show and see what happens after that. Everyone related to the show knows that I'd like to keep going and that I love the show. And if not, we'll see what happens next. But for me, I just want to enjoy the last few weeks with the crew and the cast. They've all become really, really close friends and family in many ways. And I'm all about today's work, and today's moment. And it's why I appreciate the Dynasty talk. I can't really get into that because it gives me anxiety if I leave. If I leave, go anywhere beyond game 1, I'm going to have an anxiety attack. So I just, anything beyond the next couple of episodes of Blue Bloods, I try not to think about. But yes, the plan now is that the show will be ending. But, anything can happen. If we all wanted to keep going, maybe we'll find a way to make it keep going.
I assume now if you bring Mark to a game, he will stay for the whole entire thing, right? I mean, he learned his lesson.
I can't guarantee that at all. I have no. Yeah, I can't really. Yeah.
Well, maybe that's what we want. He leaves, we come back, and we win.
Oh yeah.
So maybe that's the luck charm.
Reverse jinx or something.
Great. I like that. I was going to say, if he goes to, I've seen him go to Laker games and stay the whole game. I will say, I have seen that. A little confusing.
Yes.
But I think when Phil Jackson was the coach, like, he wouldn't allow them to leave or something. So I don't know. But, yeah, I don't know if he's going to live that one down. Yeah, you got to. I see. For me, I get it. He has kids. They might have needed to go home. They might have thought it was over. But for me, I never thought I'd be able to go to any games. So I'm there before the shoot around most games. I'm watching the warm-ups. I'm watching the anthem. I'm staying afterwards. When the court's empty, I still look around. Like, the whole building's empty, and I'm still there, like, looking around at the floor, like, how did this ever happen that I can go to these basketball games
I love it.
and be standing on the parquet? It's the greatest thing ever, and I'll do it for as long as I can, and I'm real excited for this team. Can I just say, I know I talk a lot, so forgive me. The one thing I love about this team, too, they're really good guys. Like, the new guys that they brought in are great guys. Jalen and Jason, phenomenal guys. Al, great guy. I mean, these guys are really good guys. I'm not the biggest star in the world. People know me. Whatever. I don't know how people would describe me, but I know when I go to a game, those guys. My son has gone to the games with me since those guys have been on the team. And, if Jason comes over, for example, before the game, he'll come give me a hug. And the first thing he does is look behind me to see if my son's standing there. He never doesn't look for my son. And Jalen, the same thing. He's like, "Where's Elijah? Where's your son?" It's like he calls my son's nickname. I didn't even know he knew my son's nickname.
That's great.
It's like they're good guys. Coach is a great guy, and I'm rooting for them probably more than any Celtics team ever because I love this group, but B, I've watched them with my son since he was a little guy, and this is his team too. And to see how classy they are and gracious they are, it means a lot to me, and I'm really, really rooting for them as people too. Like I don't take a lot of things personal, but this divide and conquer thing that a lot of the national media is doing with Jalen and Jason and the slander that they're not clutch or they're underachieving. Like, I take it personal because I really think these are great guys. They've stuck together when they could have split up, in the past. And I don't know, man. I really, really, really am hopeful that they get to lift that trophy because I think no group of players deserves it more, especially with these two guys leading the team.
Well, we really appreciate you taking the time this morning, and
I want them to win so I can tell everybody to go F themselves. All the haters out there.
Right?
That's why I want them to win.
The hate is crazy. The hate. I've never seen as much hate. I mean, I don't know, and I'm sure some Boston folks are probably subscribed to some of that same criticism, but I just don't get it. I mean. Tatum did get hurt in Game 7 against Miami last year. I mean, could we have still won the series? Yeah, we could have, but we didn't. But he did get hurt. I mean, and they did come back from 3-0 down. I mean, it's like the year before, like we went to the finals. Yeah, maybe they weren't ready to beat one of the all-time great teams in Golden State. They had a chance. They were up. It's like, I don't know, man. I don't understand the narrative that this team has somehow been a failure. To me, they've been nothing but a success, and they're right on schedule. Superstars in the NBA historically win their first championship at age 27. Check the stats on that. Durant, you name it, Jordan.
Mm-hmm.
They win at 27. Tatum's ahead of schedule. Jalen is 27. They're at that moment right now, or even ahead of schedule of that moment. I think they haven't underachieved. They've been on the cusp, and they've been close. It's like go back to when they played Cleveland in 7 and Tatum dunked on LeBron. Did anyone think they would beat Golden State if they made it through Cleveland that year? Nobody thought they would win. So where's the underachieving? I don't get it. I really am with you 100%. I hope they win. Not to tell everyone to shut up, mostly because I love these guys and I want to see them happy and successful. But, yeah, the second part of it is to tell everyone to go screw themselves.
Well, we can't wait for it to get here on Thursday. And I don't think we have you. I don't think we have you and McLovin.
Right.
I don't think the Mavericks have any. They have zero celebrity fans.
It's really Donnie and Millie's.
Right.
I don't know about McLovin. I'd rather see Millie's is at a lot of games. He's a Boston rapper, so I go with him.
Okay.
I'm just shocked you guys didn't ask Donnie about Karen Reed. I mean,
I don't know much about that case, so I'm not going to comment on it. But there's been a lot more celebrities at the Celtics games the last few years, so I think there'll be a lot of people in the house Thursday night, and I will be sneaking away from work to get there myself. So
awesome.
I'm very excited.
Well, listen, thanks for taking the time. I said it before you came on. Just, I'm sure you hear it all the time, but Band of Brothers, incredible television. So I'm sure
thank you
I'm
so
sure
much.
you love doing it. And I think is it the 80th anniversary of D-Day that's coming up soon? So
Thursdays, game one.
Yeah. So
yeah, amazing. And it was nice to hear so many people getting to see it now that it's on Netflix. You know, so many people are seeing it. And Memorial Day was like, I got so many calls and texts. It was an honor to be part of that. And I'm very fortunate. You know, I see the cup half full every day, and to be part of something that's so incredible, and it's just what an honor for me it was. So I was lucky to meet the guy that I played and so many of those men, and it really was an honor to do it. So thank you. It means a lot.
all right. Thanks for checking in. Yes, Wiggy.
I would say Donnie and Ice-T, best TV cops out there. I mean, when you think about it,
He's my guy.
two guys
I love
that
Ice-T.
two guys that came from music and been TV cops for like 30 years. It seems like.
It's a pretty good
I don't think Ice-T's show is going to end anytime soon. Law and Order SVU, but LL Cool J show is ending and mine's ending. So I talked to LL on text a few weeks ago. I was like, "Hey, if our shows end, man, me and you do a team up show." And he was like, "I'm in. Let's talk about it." So we'll see what happens.
All right, Donnie. Thanks. We appreciate it. See you Thursday night.
Appreciate you guys.
All right. There he is, Donnie Wahlberg. All right.
Huge.
You know what he has
stuff in.
Yeah.
You know what he has that nobody has that's in his position? Immense gratitude.
Yeah.
It is so amazing to hear someone who has accomplished so much be that grateful for everything he has.
Right. Like he doesn't expect it.
Mm-hmm.
He's blessed when he gets it,
Right.
which is awesome.
And still thinks it's really cool that the Jays will come
Right.
over and talk to him and talk to his son. Like that's humble.
Because he's a real fan. You know what I mean? Like that's the biggest thing. He's a real fan. He's probably watching all the games. He's just not, like you said, going there to be seen on the
Yeah.
court. Like he's a fan. You think about a lot of us that grew up in the 80s watching the Celtics. You know, a lot of people couldn't go to games, and there you have this opportunity. It's
Pretty good get,
Yeah.
Wiggy. Great
Good
get
job.
by you.
Hey, listen.
If you deliver McLovin, then
Well, I would
you're
say
gonna-
that I don't need to deliver McNovin because I would say Donnie and Greg Hill. Greg Hill, you might be your 145, right? This
yes.
might elevate you.
It could elevate me influence-wise. I hope so.
So-
I'm going for 143 next year.
Yeah, I don't
All
think Donnie Wahlberg's car gets run out of gas downstairs in the valet.
right.